Often adults will learn chords because they've heard they're a way to play their favourite songs without having to spend years learning to read sheet music, which is true. So they learn the names of the piano keys, they learn a few major and minor chord shapes, and maybe they can even play a simple 4-chord song. But after this, they find themselves jumping around YouTube, learning from random lessons with no clear path in what they're learning, what they need to learn next, and no way of knowing whether they're missing out on anything important. One day they're learning jazz chords, the next they're watching a blues lesson, then they decide they should probably learn scales. Then somebody tells them to learn sight reading, and before long they're spending a lot of time at the piano, but not really sure if they're moving forwards or just collecting random bits of information. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, it's incredibly common. The problem usually isn't a lack of practice, the problem is a lack of direction. So in this video, I want to give you a simple roadmap of what I believe adult piano learners should focus on after learning basic piano chords. And this isn't going to be a detailed tutorial on every topic. Instead, I'm going to show you the key skills worth learning, the rough order I'd recommend learning them in, and how it all fits together to help you become a more well-rounded pianist. Let's start with the first skill all chord players should develop. After learning the basic chords, rhythm should be one of your first priorities. Because let's face it, even if you're only playing C, F and G chords, if your rhythm sounds good, then your playing just sounds way better. But if you're playing complicated chords with poor rhythm, it won't sound convincing. For example, instead of simply playing C, G and F, you could play the same chords, much better result. Learning basic rhythms allows you to start sounding musical almost immediately. Once you've got basic rhythm under your fingers, start learning chord patterns. These are simple ways of breaking up chords so that they sound more interesting. For example, we could play this chord progression nice and simply like this, compared with something like this. Or you could add more of a rolling pattern like this. Suddenly, your playing sounds much more professional. This is one of the quickest ways beginners can improve their sound. If you're still playing every chord in root position, this should be your next priority. Inversions allow you to move smoothly between chords instead of jumping all over the place. For example, now compare that to this. And you can use inversions to add variation as well. Another thing you can do once you're comfortable with basic triad chords is to start adding some colour. This is where suspended chords and add chords come in. For example, let's take that same simple chord progression, C, F, A minor and G major. Now I'm going to add some sus, short for suspended chords, to it. Let's add some add 9 chords in there as well. don't need to understand a lot of music theory to start using these, and once you learn how to use them, they will instantly make your playing sound more modern and expressive. Chord extensions. This is where your chords start sounding rich and sophisticated. You could begin by exploring chords like major sevenths, minor sevenths, dominant sevenths, ninths, and beyond. Now, don't worry if these sound intimidating. They're actually much easier to understand when learnt using a step-by-step process. And this is something I go into much more detail in the Chords course inside my membership. But you will also find lessons on chord extensions in the jazz and blues courses in the membership as well. A lot of students stop developing their rhythm after learning a couple of patterns. Don't make that mistake. Keep collecting new grooves and accompaniment patterns. For example, you've got rock patterns, or pop patterns, or ballad patterns. The more patterns you know, the more songs you can play convincingly. Arpeggios are simply chords played one note at a time, normally played from the bottom to the top. But they're everywhere. Film music, pop ballads, classical music, contemporary piano arrangements. For example, you could take these simple block chords and play them using arpeggios. The same chords, a completely different feel. Learning a handful of useful arpeggio patterns gives you another powerful tool for accompanying songs. This is where your playing really starts to sound impressive. Runs and fills are little musical ideas that connect your chords together. For example, you could take the chord progression of C, F, A minor and G again, add in some runs and fills. Notice how much more professional it sounds. These little details are often what separates a beginner from someone who sounds like they've been playing for years. At this point, you've built a solid foundation, and now it's worth thinking about what type of pianist you'd like to become. Maybe you're drawn towards blues. Maybe jazz. Maybe singer-songwriter accompaniment. Or maybe boogie-woogie. The good news is that all of these skills you've learnt so far transfer into these styles. And for beginners who are interested in blues piano, I actually have a course in blues piano and improvisation for beginners inside the membership, which is designed specifically as an entry point into blues playing. It's a great next step because blues naturally develops rhythm, improvisation, and musical confidence. And talking of improvisation, a lot of people think improvisation is an advanced skill. It isn't. In fact, I think beginners should start experimenting with improvisation much earlier than most teachers suggest. The key is using the right approach. You don't need hundreds of scales, you don't need advanced jazz theory, You simply need a framework that works. Once you understand a few simple concepts, you can begin creating music of your own surprisingly quickly. Improvisation is something I cover throughout several of my courses because it's one of the most enjoyable skills a pianist can develop. Now, some people might be surprised that I've left this until later. Let me explain. I'm not saying sight reading isn't important. It is, depending on what you want to do. But the point I want to make is that many adult beginners spend months learning notation before they can play anything that sounds remotely like the music they actually want to play. And that's often why people quit. Instead, I think it's better to develop practical playing skills first, then start learning to read simple melodies. Why? Because once you can read simple melodies and understand chords, you can start working from lead sheets. A lead sheet gives you the melody and chord symbols. You play the melody with your right hand and fill in the accompaniment with chords in your left. This opens up a huge library of recognisable songs without needing to read complex piano arrangements. And if you'd like to help developing this skill, I also have a dedicated sight reading course inside the membership. For example, you could play the simple melody with your right hand. And then using the chord symbols, you could play the simple chords in your left hand underneath. If you follow a roadmap like this, you'll often be able to play music that sounds far more impressive much sooner than if you focus exclusively on learning notation from day one. More importantly, you'll always know what to learn next, and that's exactly why I created my membership. Instead of jumping between random YouTube tutorials, you'll find complete step-by-step courses covering chords, blues, boogie-woogie, jazz, improvisation, ear training and sight reading, all designed using structured learning paths. If you'd like to check that out, you can try everything free for the first 7 days. I'll leave a link in the description below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.